You know what's happening in 2020, 2025?
Rizzler.
RFK and the Rizzler are going at it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yo, I want to see a video of RFK. Like, he could probably eat. He's gonna eat the Rizzler, dude. He's like, yo, good
He might.
protein.
Let's blow up the internet, from the basement to the higher net. Scrolling, tapping, man, we ain't done yet. Let's blow up the internet.
They were like, oh, Bitcoin, it's
Dude.
going up again. I'm like, can we not do this again? Just let it go.
I know, for real. It's they're trying to bring it back. Everybody based their identities around it. They're trying. Have you seen that new cartoon show, Universal Basic Guys? It's this Family Guy style cartoon about two bros who get universal basic income. Like once UBI becomes a thing.
Love it.
Such a
Love
good
it.
idea. Yeah. So that's what that made
What do
me
you-
think of.
So what would you do if you were on the UBI?
Dude, I
if
do
you're
the
on
same thing, man.
Just
I've been
memes?
doing this, just I make memes, write, read books, hang out with my dog, my family, have a bunch of kids. I don't know,
You know
same
what I would
thing.
do?
What would you do?
I would become
Cookies?
a complete degenerate. Like I would
Yeah.
just,
A lot
I
of
would
people
not do a
would, yeah.
single thing.
A lot of people would be complete degenerates for sure.
Yeah, everyone's like, yeah, if they gave UBI, you would do the things you love. Like, no, I'd stay home. I'd do nothing. Like, no, sir.
Fair. Speaking of degeneracy, all right, let's jump into things here. Black Friday, Cyber Monday. You are the customer retention guy, have a lot of experience in e-commerce. What is the most degenerate Black Friday, Cyber Monday things that you've seen go down?
I think degeneracy is when they do like all the fake oopsie emails. Like that shit has to stop. Like how many
Wait,
oopsies? Like,
those are
oops, we
fake,
messed
bro?
up. They're all
Wait,
fake.
no.
They're all fake. 90% are fake. Like one person at some point in time, a couple of years ago, like actually messed up and sent like a oops, we messed up. Now it's like oops, we made too much sales. Oops, we messed up email. Oops, the discount code didn't work. Oops, I forwarded this email to my manager by mistake. I leaked it. All the oops stuff is fake. And I think it's like, there are very few brands that actually can pull it off. Like Mischief has always been like like they can push, but when you're just like a brand selling like air freshener, like you don't need to do an oops. Like just create a good product, give people a good promo, let them buy and let them go home and go to sleep. Like nobody wants to get the other massive degeneracy that goes on is everyone tells people to send more emails, but we don't realize that everyone that's saying that is actually getting paid when you send more emails, right? Like every ESP is like, send more emails, it's good. And I'm like, yeah, no shit, you're getting paid a couple of pennies. When the list gets bigger, you then take more money. Like, or you're an agency, bro, and you are the one that drives more revenue when you send more emails, but you're not responsible to what happens in 6 months when the list is completely washed out and dead. So those are like the two big degeneracies, is like weird emails and sending way too much of just like annoyance.
That's crazy. I may have to try that. Just kidding. But it's funny, man. Like I have always, anytime I sell in an email, just like super organic, like I tried hiring one of those kind of agency bros to, write one of those emails, and they wanted to do like 8 emails in like a 48-hour span. And I was like, this is not happening. Like, I respect my readers too much for this. This is not happening, my friend. Like, like
it could be cool to test the oopsie on the newsletter.
Yeah. I'm down to do oopsie just once, like oops, like I forgot to include memes on this one. I don't know, something like that. Especially, with the meme letter, we send it every day for Memelord Tech. And so maybe we say something around that. Oops, forgot to send some extra memes. And we have a lot of people who sign up for like the premium from just the newsletter. So yeah, maybe it'd be fun. Or make it way more degenerate. Like, sorry, my wife is yelling at me and I accidentally pressed send. Just, sorry, I was high. Yeah. Something like that.
No, I think there's a lot of just kind of like best practice energy, right? Like everyone just kind of follows what everyone else does. It's funny, I was telling this to somebody last week, how there's this constant insufferable conversation on D2C Twitter about like what is the right amount of emails, and everyone says like send more emails. And whenever there's any pushback saying like, no, this is lame, nobody wants more emails, the response that you always get yelled at by like a middle-aged man is always like, no, like you're just a marketer. So like you're biased because you know what blah blah blah. So my mom, who's like an Orthodox Jewish mom that had a bunch of kids, like I asked her a couple of months ago, I was like, what's your opinion on like emails around Black Friday? And she was like, oh, I get an insane amount of emails. And I'm like, do you remember which brands like harass you the most? And she was able to list them like 8 months, 9 months after Black Friday. And I'm like, she's not a marketer. She doesn't know what marketing means. And she's annoyed by your like lame ass, lazy ass email frequencies. So I don't think this is like I don't think this is like a cognitive bias. This is just really lame, lazy marketing. Like lazy marketing is sending the same email 4 times with a different subject line. It's just lazy. Like get creative, do something useful. Like nobody will read it the 4th time when they haven't seen it the first 3. Like it's just annoying.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it really, like I was saying earlier, it comes down to respect for your readers and audience as well. If you respect your readers, if you think they're smart people, you're gonna treat them well. You know, I start every newsletter, sup nerds, you know, because they're nerds. You know, my readers are nerds.
They
like
deserve
I
that
am.
respect.
Like, yeah, they do, dude. Exactly. And like you wanna put your best foot forward. You don't want to just send trash out there and hit them with 100 emails. Also, like, yeah, no, I mean, I do say like nobody wants that much more extra emails, right? But I don't know.
I think like newsletters are slightly different than kind of like work
Fair.
stuff.
That's fair.
I will say like to me newsletters are kind of in the realm of like what are you promising and how are you delivering on that? If you say like this is a daily email, yeah, send it daily. If you say it's a weekly email, send it weekly. When you're kind of just all over the place, now you're like whenever I've got a free time I bang out a newsletter. That's just like it's just weird. Like I think humans just like being trained on something. Like they like eating dinner the same time every day.
Dude, every Sunday, dude. 150 weeks straight. Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's the move.
Yeah. So when you're working with brands, you know, previously with Jones Road, right? Like how long before Black Friday would you guys start like planning that stuff?
You'll talk to you'll talk to 10 brands, you'll get 10 different answers. It very much depends on like the size of the business, the how great they are at planning, how much like chaos happens day to day, right? So for example, if a brand Jones was pretty lean, right? Like it was like Joanne was our retention person, and then you know I was leading retention as a part of the business, but it was Joanne, and we had a designer, and she was kind of writing the copy. So in that case, it's like she's spending every week writing like writing the emails for the week after. So she's not super ahead. So Black Friday was a couple of weeks and months ahead. There's some companies that probably start like 6 months ahead, especially when you think of like there's emails, but then there's like dev, and then like all the website dev, which you generally will have a code freeze a couple of weeks before. You won't touch the website. But then there's like production of products, which can be a year before. So like right after last Black Friday, they order the inventory for the next one.
Wow, really?
It depends.
Crazy.
If you're doing like unique products and special SKUs, and you know, very much depends on the business. Some businesses, I spoke to a few folks in the last few weeks that are like kind of just starting to plan now, but it depends on the.
Yeah, I'm literally planning right now, like as we're talking, like in my head.
What's the plan?
Like, I don't have one. That's why you're here. No, I got to figure something out. I haven't really. Maybe something around cyber memes. We could do that. I don't know. Do some sort of sale, free trial. I don't know.
I like it. I think there's like there's a general vibe around just like people buying shit. Like Beehive has been doing last year, the year before they did like a sign up for an annual, get like 50% off.
Ooh, I could do that very easily.
Which slaps.
So my annual is already like $69, so it's like very cheap, and a lot of people do annual already. So if I just put it down to 42.0, I think maybe I'll try that. You know,
they probably crush. I imagine Beehive crushes annuals.
I'll talk to my publisher too, see if we could do something for my book. That'd be smart.
A little BFCM push. Yeah, a little Cyber Monday push.
Yeah. It is. Do people like? I don't know, man. Like, I shop all year long, you know? Like, do people really, like, I don't shop crazy. Like, I'm not, like, a big shopper, but, like, do people really, like,
So,
You know what I'm
So
saying?
I'll tell you that for most brands, like the human race as a general rule is not mega intelligent. Like compared to like you know other parts of our universe, yeah, we're intelligent, but overall, I think people suffer from any marketing ploy ever. So, like when we're told to shop, we imagine that it must be the cheapest time of the year. And from what I've seen, it's not always right. Like there are so many brands that have like a reasonable sale on Black Friday, but it's like any other day of the year. So for like probably 80% of this country, they hear sale, they think it's the cheapest of the year. Brands will do anywhere between like they can do like a full month and a half of revenue in 3 days. Like they can brands crush Black Friday, Cyber Monday. People do shop. I think we're Jews, so we're just a little bit more we're a little bit more pessimistic. We're like, there's no way
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
getting me to shop. It's like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
correct.
challenge accepted. It's not gonna happen.
I'm not doing it. It's not happening.
Yeah.
Not happening.
Yeah.
I ain't
Yeah.
pulling out
I
that
shop
credit
like the
card
week
for.
after. I like pay more
Yeah.
just so I feel like I didn't do Black Friday. I didn't fall for it.
Yeah, exactly. We got to be smarter.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. What brands are you watching these days? Any ones that you're like just a huge fan of?
I think that I just gave this like whole spiel around like how I don't fall for it, and I'm kind of like I'm a Jew and I'm astute and I'm on
Yeah.
my shit, but I do fall for in the universe of like fashion slash streetwear. I have like at any given time I have like one or two brands that I love and I just can't stop. It used to be ALD until they wronged me, and then I've been on like a don't touch
did
it.
ALD do?
They just like basically were super not excited about honoring something that was like a day out of the return policy after I spent like $1 zillion throughout the year. And I was like, really? Like I'm one day out because I was traveling and you won't, whatever. And I'm a petty Jewish customer. So I was like, never again. But I will say, like, always been excited about Mad Happy. I think that their story has always been like exciting for me around mental health. I've been on a little slower push recently, and I've just been like since 2020, I've just been excited about Kith. I think that like every collaboration they do hits. It's so at this point like so. I'm just like any other dude at this point in time. But I just love the quality and I love the fit. Outside of that, I'm not a big shopper, which is embarrassing.
Yeah,
like for yeah, we do this for a living, and I'm like if I find a good deal, there aren't very many brands that I'm like, wow, they can't do wrong. You know what I mean? Like there's even the people around me. Like I feel like recently people are less. This is one brand. I need to put all my eggs in this basket, and people are shopping much more wider with a wider lens. So like my wife is not using one brand for her skincare. She's like likes the moisturizer from here and the eye cream from there.
Yeah, same. 100%. I feel like I don't buy clothes anymore as much as I used to. Like I used to a lot as like a teenager for sure. Now it's like
do you wear clothes or you just like wear the same stuff?
I mostly wear the same stuff, but I'm not like a fancy guy. Like as I say this, like I'm wearing Burberry, but my wife works at Burberry. Like
nice.
So I've kind of been a little spoiled the last few years because I just get like $20 Burberry shirts. And so I'm wearing like Burberry sweats and a Burberry shirt right now that are like each $500 for like $20. And so now I'm like, why should I ever buy clothes again? Because like she's just
when you started with this, I was sure you were going in the Zuck territory that you just don't like the mental.
No. Yeah, I am pretty like I don't like dressing up. I like I was at this conference last week, this like fancy ass conference or whatever, and I wanted to just kind of wear like chill stuff, and my wife was just like, no, like you are meeting Peter Thiel, like you are not wearing your sweats, like this is not fucking happening, Jason. Like you don't.
What was Peter Thiel wearing?
Peter Thiel was wearing a camo suit on Halloween with his shirt wide open, so I saw Peter Thiel basically half naked. Palmer was wearing a Hawaiian shirt as usual, and I was like, babe, Palmer could do it, I could do it. And she's like, no, like you're not a billionaire yet, Jason. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't matter, I could wear a Hawaiian shirt. Like, what do you mean? Like, I don't understand it. She's like luxury fashion through and through, like FIT, since she was 18. Like I've been wearing the same stuff since I was 15 for the most part,
I do think that Palmer is probably the only person in the universe that has permission to wear a Hawaiian. So I might be.
No, dude, Hawaiian shirts are amazing. I love Hawaiian shirts. They're incredible.
There's like almost no when you wear a Hawaiian shirt on a regular Tuesday, you're like, what kind of buffet is this guy heading to? Is this guy going to eat?
I always want that. I want
You
people
want
to
that
know
vibe.
that I eat. That if we're having lunch, I'm going to eat your food. So like, I want that vibe. People are scared.
And then if you're going on a trip and you're wearing Hawaiian, like unless you're a middle American dad of 6, it's kind of like a little bit of a challenging. But maybe directionally that's where you're heading.
It is definitely. I'm meant to be like very fat and just like very rich, sitting on a pool, like Hawaiian shirt open, like that's smoking a cigar. Definitely where I'm meant to be, like, and I feel good about that. But let's talk about another brand. Something I'm interested in, Blueprint. So Bryan Johnson's brand. So I think it's actually like he's gonna build a really big thing here, and it's already happening with like young men. I saw a tweet the other day was talking about like he's like very focused on young men, but young women. Like if he could somehow get them on, like I don't know if he gets one of the Kardashians to like partner up or something, but like if Pink Print, I don't know, but like there needs to, if he could nail young women,
Is it supplements?
So it's supplements and like a whole food stack. And then I think also, I do think he might have skincare and stuff coming. Just from seeing him last week, like that dude's skin is beautiful. Like
it's wild. I saw the photo and I was like,
he looks younger, bro. He looks younger in person. Like it's insane.
I know, but he kind of looks a little like UFO. You're kind of not sure if he's an alien. It's like weird territory, no?
I don't know, man. Girls were flocking to him all week. That's all I'm saying.
I do think his launch strategy has been so interesting, which it's basically just been like going at AG1. Like every week he'd be like, AG1 sucks. It's not a real company. None of this is real. And then like 2 tweets down the thread, it's like, oh, but I got my competitive product. Which is
I do think it's smart though, because like AG1 is kind of faceless, and everybody's already annoyed at AG1's podcast ads.
The Rogan podcast ad.
I should
Lex
do
Friedman.
one right now. Athletic Greens, not as good as Blueprint. That's bad. I feel like we're all annoyed at it, and we all have no idea what's in it. Like I was on AG1 because Tim Ferriss told me to. And
did it do anything? Did you feel differently?
No, of course not.
Yeah.
Of course not. Dude.
Yeah.
Also, I always found it shady. Not to throw shade on Kat Cole here,
because we love her.
Friends. Yeah, everybody loves Kat. I've only talked to her once, but like, she did work at Hooters and Cinnabon. Now she's like president of a health company. Like that always threw me a little. I don't trust this shit, bro. Like go be like.
I think Kat kind of spent too long at Cinnabon and was like, I'm on my no. But the funny thing about Kat, so I know Kat. She has been eating / drinking AG1 for years as a customer, way before she became the president, which is interesting. But I'm not a healthy individual. I wouldn't call myself super healthy.
Yeah, you were telling me about your yesterday. It doesn't sound healthy, brother.
It doesn't. Yesterday wasn't healthy, but in general, I think that the brands. This is actually a good topic to hit on. Is the brands that have to keep customers current and present, but don't have a easy way to show results, are some of the best marketers in the world. Give you some examples outside of AG1, because AG1 is the obvious one. Ritual, selling vitamins, the same as any other vitamin, and they have to convince you that theirs is better than the Ollie one that you buy at Walmart for $7.97. And they also have to convince you that you're going to feel something over 6 to 12 months, because if not, after a month, you're like, granted, like the US health system, like the RFKs of the world have done like a good job convincing people that vitamins are like a real thing. Whereas in reality, I'm not a doctor, but I imagine you get most of this shit from like the food you eat.
Can we talk about this for a sec?
I don't know that they are.
I haven't taken them since I was like 6, and I'm good, bro. I also haven't washed my hands in like a few years. I'm fine. So like,
not since COVID. Was it the last hand wash?
Proved that you don't really need to,
Yeah, I remember like spraying the fucking shopping bags.
Exactly. The whole thing.
But
I do think that's
yeah.
a good point, though. It's a lot easier to sell instant gratification than long term, and so you have to like it's so much easier to just sell like
Or
just
any
cookies,
gratification,
whatever.
right?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
any gratification, like even for example, like if I sold a hair loss supplement, but like over 3 months, you're actually going to see something much easier than AG1 because I have to now convince you that you're going to feel more awake.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I think it's a lot easier to sell when there's results to prove it, 100%. And
You have to
I try to
gaslight.
do that with if you're selling without results, basically, it's kind of it's not fraudulent, but it's you just have to believe. I like selling things that have results. It's
You know who
definitely
else?
better.
You know who else
better
crushes this? Like you know who else besides like Ritual,
Who's that?
AG1, Scientology.
Want to know who else crushes it? Norden, dude.
What's that?
Norden, cybersecurity.
Oh, the antivirus. Yeah,
Yo, that
virus.
didn't do anything.
No.
They never blocked anything. Never.
Well, McAfee was the first one, and he kind of ended up killing his neighbor. And
Dude, did you know McAfee? Like he would send viruses to people's computers and then sell them the software. Really?
It's kind of iconic, to be honest.
Yeah, I would have loved to meet him, man. He seemed dope. Also, like crazy.
He went too soon. Yeah,
for sure.
Rest in peace.
I think there's definitely some stuff with that, with like, insurance, dude. Insurance, like insane.
Fear.
It's gotta be terrible.
Fear. Yeah, they got to sell a lot of fear. Yeah,
you're selling fear. Yeah, 100%. So what does retention mean exactly? Is it like you're president of semen retention or what?
So retention in general is basically how do we keep people around? So if acquisition is responsible for
it's not
acquiring,
retention.
It could be. It easily could be, but I think in general, when you get like retention as a conversation, it's generally more on the customer side than the semen. But it generally kind of like, how do I, if acquisition spending all the big bucks, how do I keep people around?
Yeah. I'm starting to think about that stuff now, actually, with Memelord Tech, and got a bunch of users. Like any other SaaS, people cancel, and fuck you. But how do I prevent that from happening, right? As much as possible is like I hate when software has a cancel survey, and so I haven't added one, but I also get why people would want one, right?
But you know what the trick is, right? Like, you know who doesn't cancel? The people that use it, right? So like Netflix, they see a correlation of usage with cancellation, right? Like Peloton, the more you use it, the less likely you are to cancel. I have one in my room. I haven't used it for 6 months. I get charged every month for it. I probably will cancel. Peloton should be sending me more emails to somehow engage me and make me feel shitty about how fat I'm getting, right?
Dude, all right. This is actually, I could see how many people download memes and stuff. This is it, dude.
This is why they pay me the big bucks.
There we go. All right.
Yeah.
Guys, so if you have a SaaS out there and you're tracking usage, send emails to the people who don't use it much. Get them back involved.
Figure out ways to have them use the product, because ultimately usage is almost always correlated with retention. But in general, I think like the way this has gone over the last like couple of years is essentially the olden days of SaaS, not even SaaS, like the olden days of kind of like Netflix was you sign up, you never hear from them again, and they just quietly charge your card every month. A lot of that has changed with like Rocket Money and all those other apps that track monthly, that they now, you'll be notified every month when you hit that renewal. So now Netflix is kind of like every couple of weeks you'll get an email or whatever of like, these are the newest shows. And you now see it on the top of when you log in, is like, they need to kind of keep usage going. If not, that's the best way to, deal with churn.
That's so smart. I never thought about that. Do you think that applies to newsletters as well? Because I don't do that much with my newsletter. Like I could see obviously segments of open rates, but I haven't really spent the time hitting up people with a lower open rate, because I figure if they're not opening it, they're not going to open that email.
Yeah, I think newsletters are interesting because everyone kind of peddles the same like best practice bullshit, which is like, if somebody's not engaging for multiple weeks, like send them an email and say like, this is the last chance and please click this to stay engaged. And it's like, if they'd stop opening your newsletter, then just like
remove them, right?
Yeah. Keep the cadence as usual, and 6 months later remove them.
Yeah, I just have an auto cleaner like once a month.
Yeah.
Just remove. It feels good. It feels good cleaning newsletter. It feels good. At first, it felt really bad because I hated seeing number go down. But what matters is TLV, and like and revenue per customer, revenue per reader. So it actually feels good.
Yeah, I don't feel strong feelings around it. I probably don't clean it enough, but I do think that in general, newsletters as a business, but also newsletters as a hobby is a quality game, and it's very, very rare that it's a quantity game. And I'll give you an example. My newsletter with like 14,000 subscribers makes probably just as much as most of the newsletters that are 200,000-300,000 because it's super niche. So if you're super niche and you're talking to a very engaged audience that also has like trust or interest in your shit, quantity is very often irrelevant. So I think most people, whether it's a SaaS or a newsletter, it's like just find like a hyper niche kind of maybe slightly ridiculous part of the internet that just wants memes all day. And for them, it's just a quality game and it doesn't really matter. Obviously, if you're charging monthly, you want more customers. But if you're not charging,
yeah, I had a realization the other day, which is like my retarded meme SaaS makes more than most VC-backed startups.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. Congrats. But I do think again, you have like a very, very, very niche solution for like people that want to be consistently current, and it's actually something that bothered me early on in my startup journey. I was like, I love feeling like I get every single cultural meme, and I had no way to keep on top of things. And when people reference something, I'm like, I feel like I'm under a rock because I don't get it. So I think your solution is like very, very targeted towards people like me that maybe don't know where to find these things and need like a meme dealer.
Exactly. I am the meme dealer.
Be careful what you say, because you don't want to be like the next like Ross Ulbricht in jail for dealing too many memes.
Dude, if they're too illegal memes. But Ross might be freed, dude, now that Trump is president.
Ross.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't agree with that, freeing Ross, actually. I think he deserves to be in jail. I'm going off on a tangent here, but the dude was like, he tried to kill him. He sold a lot of drugs.
He called a couple of hits, but he really, it wasn't a mission to create a better world. So.
Yeah, I guess. All right, wait, speaking of creating a better world or worst world, depending on where you stand, Trump. Let's discuss Trump, but not from a political standpoint. Marketing.
Yeah.
And retention.
Yeah.
How do you think, dude, he's one of the best marketers of all time, like hands down, obviously. But like, what are your thoughts?
I think, Jason, when you think about marketing, we think about two things. Like, to me, marketing is two universes. One is like the buttoned up, went to Oxford, went to Harvard, kind of like knows marketing in a spreadsheet. And then there's people that just get a cultural moment and feel it, like getting shot in the fucking ear and picking your hand up. And like that is, they don't teach that in college. And I think that he has a gut feeling on like what hits, and he has a gut feeling of like what'll get the zeitgeist. Like, was it his idea to hop in a garbage truck and put Trump on the side? I don't know, but he knew that would hit. And I think you can have 500 staffers and a bunch of people that went to the best schools in the world. Either you get it or you don't. He's once in a lifetime when it comes to marketing, because it's not something you teach. He just gets it.
100%. I actually read an interview with the guy who started Apprentice. I forget his name. Who found Trump, and they were talking about how he would they would try to give Trump scripts for their Apprentice, and he just was like, no, like just let me just talk. And it actually was so much better when he just talked. Like he just talks. He's just himself. And
it's the weave.
It's the opposite of Kamala, right? I also think, dude, I'm loving the dark MAGA hats that are now popping around with Elon too. It's pretty cool. It's just black on black, like MAGA. They're really building out a merch line here. Trump is a unicorn founder. Let's not forget. True Social, $10 billion company.
His DJT coin, pump and dump of the century. Love it. I do listen. Call me crazy. I think those camo hats, if they were made from the other side, if they were MAGA but the camo, those would have been like the largest cultural moment ever. Those hats are going to have a comeback in 35 different ways. Like we will see those camo hats hit in 10 different variations over the next year.
Yeah, it definitely should have been MAGA. They fucked up. They is so funny. Like, all right, let's get young men, so we'll just put camo because like they love camo. And then we'll play Twitch and talk about
You saw
football.
that? You saw that him with the Twitch setup? Oh
Yeah.
Lord.
Man,
It's like
wild.
Hello,
Meanwhile, Trump
my fellow
has
kids.
the biggest Twitchers, Aiden Ross and whatnot. I do think, Baron Trump, man, he's the marketing strategist behind it.
Nobody's talking about this.
Dude, he's
Not
got
enough
that
people.
burner Twitter. He's got a burner Twitter for sure. He understands the zeitgeist better than anybody. Also, all right, I also found something yesterday, which I need to write a thread on.
Please.
Kai Trump, all right, Trump's granddaughter. She is a golfer, right? And going in University of Miami to play golf. She started tweeting and posting more, right, in the last few days and getting all the retweets. And what she's doing is actually promoting Trump golf courses in some of her content. And she's going to Trump courses and making videos. So my bet is she's going to be the biggest golf influencer in the next 5-10 years. And between
the Kardashians and the Trumps, it's like at that point I think it's like the breakfast they eat. It's the cereal. It's like it's in their DNA. These kids are just like you know what I was doing when I was how old is she? 18? You know what I was doing? I was like a complete degenerate. Yeah. Until I was like 24, I was a degenerate. And these people are just like slinging like lines of God knows what. And like, I mean,
yeah,
I respect it.
I that's that multi-generational wealth, you know.
But to be honest, usually when it's multi-generational, the kids are kind of just like, give me the trust fund, right? Like the Soros kids are just like, Dad, introduce me to everyone you know and write me a check. And then you have the kids like the Kardashians where they're like, no, I want my own shit. Like, cool that you have X, Y, and Z. I'm going to start my own brand. And I don't know how you train that. Like, I don't know how you give kids that energy.
Yeah, I talked to my wife about it before. It's like, all right, say we're super rich. How do we make sure our kids aren't brats? And like, how do we make sure they're ambitious, you know?
Did you guys come out with an answer or no? No, we're totally clueless. We're just going to make a ton of money, then worry about it then. Yeah, that's fine. See, this is what I've always said is like, I'm good with my bratty kids if they have a lot of money. Like I'm whatever, dude.
Yeah. Here's the Ferrari for your 16th birthday.
Yeah, it's your problem now, right? Like if you're an insufferable 18-year-old, probably end up in a juvie somewhere. It's your problem. Like it's not.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's fair. I think I want to give my kids like a loan of $1 million. It seems to work out for the people who get that.
I feel like a loan of $1 million, a small loan, but also kind of like connect them to people that maybe own real estate in a large city.
Yeah, 100%.
And give them a name that's like marketable.
Yeah, I might have to switch it from Lev to like Lev instead of Levin. Just Lev.
Do you know there is a billionaire Israeli?
Yeah.
Lev Leviev. You can be like a Lev Levine or something.
Lev Leviev. I like it. Yeah, it's a pretty good name. It's a solid one.
Lev is catchy. Lev on a big building.
Yeah.
Big banner. Don't hate it.
So you spent a while in like e-commerce, right? Like physical products.
Yeah.
Do you think about this stuff a lot with digital products too? Around this kind of stuff? Just retention in general. Software. Products, courses. Dude, it's crazy how many people buy courses and then that's actually a really interesting thing.
I just think courses are basically you saying like, hey, I'm interested in this and I want to make like a move towards it. And you just feel like if you buy the course, you're already there.
I can't relate to that because if I'm going to buy a course, I'm going to do it because I'm Jewish.
I don't think I've ever bought a course because I'm Jewish.
Yeah, like
what am I, a schmuck?
Yeah, some of them work.
Figure it out.
I have a good course. Yeah, figure it out. But there are good courses out there.
What's your course?
It's
do it in the ad voice. Yeah, do it in the ad voice.
You could buy my meme course for $69. I've actually made thousands of dollars from this, and it has helped people.
The thing I will say is, most of my existence has been on customer experience and retention. And then I had like a quarter life crisis and I just decided to jump into SaaS. but it's not very different. It's kind of the same shit.
Do you guys use
SaaS.
like heat maps and stuff a lot?
I don't use heat maps myself, but I'm sure people use heat maps.
Yeah.
I'm not a big heat map individual.
Yeah, I haven't used it for my product, but I've seen it being used a lot. I'm starting to track a lot of data over like which meme templates are being used, all that kind of stuff, but I haven't really started tracking amount of time people are spending in the app. I was told to definitely do that, but I don't know how. So that is first time SaaS founder trying to figure this out.
I don't have an answer for you. So
I'm not asking for one. I'm just talking. I'm just yapping.
Nice.
This is a podcast.
Nice.
Remember, this isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. This isn't mentor pass or intro. This is just a podcast.
Fair. Well, if anyone in the audience has an answer for Jason, he'll pay you $69 if you can help him figure out how to.
I do think there is a market for. What about like employee retention with drugs?
Yeah. So there's certainly a market for employee retention with drugs, but employee retention can be done by similar to customer retention, kind of like craft a promise and keep to it. Like most people quit their job because it's not what they thought it would be, right? Like if you took a job and it's
yes,
right?
Yeah. Craft a promise and also usability, right? How much are people doing? I feel like there's definitely like maybe a correlation, but then if they're doing too much, they're gonna quit. But like they're just more of a happy medium.
So I'll give you like a tactical example. SpaceX, Tesla, like these are miserable places to work, but they have people that love it and stick around and get into it on purpose because they craft a promise of like, you will have the opportunity to change the world, even if you have to work really fucking hard. Maybe you'll make a lot of money, but you can probably make money elsewhere for less hours. Similar to like, so that's number one is like the like promise you get of like, you'll change the world. The second universe around this is like, the Googles or like the best law firm in the country or the best like working at the best anything in the whatever. It's the prestige. So it's either prestige or it's like an ulterior. You feel like you're changing the world, or it's the third, which is just like
Fun
what
work.
you told me on my JD is what I'm doing. / if it's a lot of fun, which most jobs aren't. Like most jobs aren't mega exciting as a rule.
I try to make it really fun for my employees. Like we have a ton of
How do you do that?
By gamifying shit.
Getting high
right now.
Oh.
No. Gamifying shit actually. So like we're doing a reel contest right now. So we're each posting one Mimi reel per day on my Instagram, and whoever gets the most views per week gets an extra like $250. And I'm like, go insane. Like do the weirdest, like be unhinged, stuff like that.
Who's leading the pack right now?
We just started it earlier this week, but I think I am potentially, or one of my guys is. I'm not sure. Like one of my employees made this reel that has like 7 million views, and so that's what inspired it. It was like, oh, like let's just double down on this, like fuck it, like let's go. And so that was one. And then another way, we do like meme streams, which is fun. It's fun when the product is memes, you get to do crazy. But I think for me, what I found the most fun, like my podcast producer who's, going to be listening to this right now, is like, I tell him like, give some calibration, but like go crazy, like have fun, like be weird and just like cook. Like I've worked with a bunch of bad freelancers who like needed to be super micromanaged, but like the ones who are, my employees now is like, just cook, bro. Just cook.
So I think you're 1,000% right when you give people the ability to like feel like they actually have the power to do cool shit. That's like that's life changing. Like I've had jobs both ways. I've had jobs where it was like, this is exactly what I want you to do, and I'm like, fucking kill me. And then I've had jobs where like, no, we hired you because we trust you. Go fuck around. And I'd agree, those are, even if the work is much harder, when you have like the ability to do cool shit, it actually feels like it's almost like being an entrepreneur without the risk tolerance, right? Like if you don't have the risk tolerance to be a boss, but you have the ability to do entrepreneurial type stuff in your work where you're like, no, I'm like the entrepreneur of this project. I can build whatever I want within reason. That's like a self-determination vibe, right?
Yeah. Employee retention is super important. I want to make sure my employees are happy. So if you're listening to this and you're
If
not
they're
happy,
good. If they're not good,
they're good. They're great.
they can go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've gotten rid of freelancers or employees before, but I feel like the hire slow, fire fast is definitely a thing. I think I like that.
How do you hire well? Like, how do you
Dude,
know when
all my best employees have come to me from Twitter, like just found me, DM'd. All my worst are ones that I've gone on like Upwork or stuff like that. It's just like, oh, this was a waste of time. But yeah, I get a lot of inbound because of the weirdness of my products. It's like people who love weird shit and memes and being silly on the internet. Like I get a lot of inbound of young college kids, especially, who are just like, let me cook, and I try to make use of it as much as I can.
Love it.
Yeah, we'll see. Employee retention. I do think I should send them more drugs or like go on a trip with them or something. Maybe do both, like an ayahuasca trip. Like Greg Eisenberg, he took his entire like agency to a fucking castle in Canada. I was like, that is employee retention. Like that's how you show your employees a good time. So
let me give you an alternate end to that story.
Yeah.
You take all your employees to a castle. No. But if I was on that trip, like you really have to make sure, especially when you're a distributed team, you really have to make sure the vibe, like to you hire 10 people, but the vibe of all those 10 people around each other, if it's not stellar and you took them and you had ayahuasca in a castle, that can go off.
I don't think they did ayahuasca. I mean, they might.
Theoretically,
I didn't talk to Greg.
Theoretically, if they did do ayahuasca in a castle and they didn't have like a good vibe between each other, that could be rough. Yeah. Like there's some companies where if they did like a trip together to the wherever, I'd be like, I want to stay home. Like you have to have a really, really good team.
Yeah.
Energy.
That's true. Especially for the ayahuasca. Dude, have you been seeing this
100%.
stuff on Twitter where it's like ayahuasca is like the founder killer? So funny. A VC tweeted, I think it was Andreessen actually. He's like, yeah, multiple founders have come to me and said, or like, I've had multiple founders take ayahuasca and stop building SaaS.
Really?
I love the concept of that. It's like, just like,
I guess it makes sense. Yeah, I guess it makes sense. Like, imagine if you did shrooms, it would have like a similar, like suddenly you're 3,000 feet zoomed out and you're like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, what am I doing here? Like, there are kids that are dying and I'm just like selling SaaS to make whatever on the internet. Like,
yeah, I think it would have the opposite effect for me. Like, you'd
go 10 times harder on the pavement and do much more memes.
I would do much harder on memes. I would actually probably do like much more serious stuff. I'd go into like B2B payroll or something. Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I just wonder like how much you have to love yourself to go into B2B payroll when there are 3,500 providers. You have to really love yourself.
The B2B payroll, speaking of that, similar to what we were saying earlier, like they're all trying to differentiate in just such stupid ways. It's like it's all the same shit. Trying to make it sexy and it's so boring.
Like if I see one more ad from like Rippling, I'm gonna lose it. Like it's
Rippling
just like
sucks, but like if it's
they're all healthcare
Warp or Rippling, like they're all trying to market in different ways, and it's like, oh, you guys, like I love it, but like your product is so boring. But you're like,
what do you feel about the Ramp, like Ramp versus Brex? Like that whole like little business card.
Ramp is dope. I think their social media manager is on Memelord, and so I'm a big fan.
This is so biased.
Yeah, I'm very biased.
Yeah. Okay.
And also, Brex is not on Memelord, so I'm biased.
Fair.
Yeah. No, I mean, I do agree along the similar lines. Like, I like Ramp's marketing, but yeah, another stupid, boring product that, like, all right, like, cool. Like,
you know who's the king of the game on like boring shit but trying to have a good time? Air.
What the hell is Air?
Yeah, they compete with Dropbox. Okay, you gotta go down the rabbit hole. Go down the rabbit hole. It's Air Inc.
Yeah.
They make SaaS fun. They just did a campaign with the Rizzler.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right, wait. Let's talk Rizzler. I think he's an industry plant from Big Candy, bro. Like he's trying to make America sad again. Yeah. Like I see, he went to a Welch's factory. Like they're not sending a skinny kid there. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not. He's not going to a carrot factory.
You know what's happening in 2020, 2025? RFK
Rizzler.
and the Rizzler are going at it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yo, I want to see a video of RFK. Like he could probably eat. He's gonna eat the Rizzler, dude. He's like, yo, good protein.
He might.
Yeah, I want to see him like training the Rizzler. That'd be a great.
Do you see his? I think him like the bear story memes.
Yeah.
Were stellar content.
Yeah, what's crazy is he killed the squirrel too, Peanut. You know.
I don't know that he did. I haven't heard that. I thought it was Big Fat.
Sure it was.
I didn't think it was RFK.
Big RFK. Yeah. It was
what do you think about Big Pharma? Like when we talk about marketing, boring things, like what do you think about Big Pharma?
My mom works in regulatory affairs in pharma.
Hell yeah.
And so summer after freshman year, she got me an internship working in marketing. And it was so boring. I quit 2 weeks in to get.
Why would it be exciting?
The rest of the summer.
Like what?
So bad. I just needed a job, dude. And they were, it was like, it was summer freshman year. I quit and just got stoned and made funny shit with my friends all summer. And it was so much better. And it's no regrets.
And you can always just add it to your resume that you spent half of the summer getting high with your friends.
That's how I got this job here podcasting with you, was from that marketing.
Do you know that like there has to be a memo that they give out that like every single ad should kind of be the same, of like a family and a dad walking away and his hand hurts and then he takes medicine and he's all good, and then the quick talking at the end. And like imagine being on that shit.
So
worse than Ramp.
Unbelievably boring. Oh,
worse than
let's talk big marketing here. Want to know best marketing I've seen yet? Lucy Nicotine and John Coogan. I love John.
I haven't seen it.
I don't do Lucy. I quit drugs and alcohol.
You give like Zen energy. I don't know why.
Dude, I give so much drugs energy, and it's because I used to be like a total druggy, like LSD dropping person, and my brain did not react well, so I stopped for I've been clean for 5 years, and so I don't talk about that shit too much, but yeah, Lucy. So they sent me a fucking briefcase full of Lucy, and then they also last week, right? So at this conference, this Founders Fund thing, there's like a girl half naked walking around with like things of Lucy. There was a Lucy bar, like a cigar bar and shit like that. Like they are just so good, and the whole thing is like, Lucy creates more shareholder value because we're working more. Yeah. And I do love it, and I was very tempted. I haven't had nicotine in like 5 years, but I was very tempted to like give it a try because I want to create more shareholder value for myself.
It's in your DNA. I mean, this is like it's what you wake up feeling. I think in general, like to me, it's always so inspiring when brands that are in boring, like really boring spaces can somehow get creative. Like I would highly recommend looking at Air. If anyone's listening to the podcast, Ari, who's a Jewish friend of ours, who's like probably one of the most creative geniuses I know in SaaS or in marketing in general. Like they've done so much. They've done some stuff with Kareem. The guy that Ari? Does. Hey, that's his name. His name is Ari from Air. CEO. Okay. He's the head of marketing, but the guy Kareem who does like the Subway, like what's your take?
Oh yeah.
So they did like a bunch of stuff with him. But in general, I think like taking boring shit and making it. Imagine there was a pharma company. Imagine Ozempic hired a marketing team that was actually kick-ass and did a bunch of memes.
Yeah.
Like how fucking cool would that be?
Dude, there's actually a lot of Ozempic generic competitors coming out. And my friend is designing for one of them, and like there's ads all around the subway in New York for like these crappy Ozempic competitors, and
they're kind of like cringy ads. They're not
terrible
good ads.
They're terrible ads. No, they're not good. I agree. I think other memey like fun ads would be really good. Want to know? Speaking of really good marketing, dude, the last week Polymarket and Kalshi, have just been killing it. Oh my god! I know they're spending a lot of
billboards.
Yeah, they're spending like $1 million a day, probably like some crazy number. But in general, like they've been killing it for the last few years, and I'm just fascinated by it. I love it. I think like what's so cool about prediction markets too. I'm very, very tempted, and was talking with somebody like 6-10 months ago about starting a business around this. Is like endless content. Like it's not just politics. Like there are prediction markets, new ones every day. And, you know, when I was doing those street interviews, right, I was talking to Kalshi about working with them because there's just endless things to ask people. There's endless things to bet on. I really think there's going to be like a bar stool of prediction markets, and I may or may not just build it on the side for fun.
You should.
But
I think in general,
I think I might, because Polymarket's already using Memelord Tech. Kalshi isn't, so I obviously have a favorite. Again, you know, I've got to have preferences.
You must. No, it's part of the.
It's not
part
a bias.
Of the job.
It's just like
it's
just a bias. You know, it's a preference. It's like it's like being straight. It's just better. You know.
It's just a preference. I do think in general, like the idea of taking something that has like inherently baked in consistent stream of potential content is the biggest hack ever, right? Like, you know who did this quite well, actually? Built the credit card company, like that you get points for rent. They did like that kind of like in the park talking about finance stuff. And it's like finance conversations are the most invasive and exciting. Like, how much money do you make? What do you do for work? How much do you pay for rent? And there have been like, and then it was like, how much do you pay for rent? Can I see your house? Like anything around that, it's close enough to the product. If you were doing like Ozempic type stuff, it can be like, how much do you weigh? What do you eat for breakfast?
Oh,
let's
that's
go eat
so
together.
Intrusive. Oh my God.
Right?
I love that.
That's the idea.
I'm so nosy. That'd be so much fun.
Yes.
Dude, my mom raised me right, Jewish mother. Dude, it should just be a Jewish mother walking around interviewing. They would be the best street interviewers. Dude, my mom does that anytime I'm in line or like she's in line with somebody. Like she'll just come back and be like, "Oh, I met this person who like, you know, she went to school and her job."
You're like, leave her alone. She's just trying to get sweet green.
I know, exactly. Mom, dude, I'm sending my mom out to do street interviews because I'm busy.
I think it could be good. Fun. I do think
I was hiring like college kids to like Jewish moms. So much better.
Jewish moms, I do. You know what I want to do in ecom? I want to do like a lot more Jewish stuff. So I did like with Air actually. We did like a Hanukkah party like 2 years ago, and I want to do like more like maybe we do like a Pesach Seder. Maybe like I just want to bring more like culturally Jewish, like a little evening of latkes or something. Like bring culturally Jewish stuff to more of ecom, not in a way of like, we're gonna take all your money, more like it's such
like
a nice heritage
media kind of way. Like not take your money, but the media. I agree, dude. I love that Morning Brew has been openly Jewish. Like they've done a lot of like Hanukkah stuff.
They've done Jewish stuff.
I'm down for that. I was supposed to come to that event and I think I was sick, but I'm definitely my wife and I have been talking about doing some like Shabbat dinners or something.
That can be nice. Yeah, let's do Jew stuff.
Let's do Jew stuff, man. Like Hanukkah memes would go so hard. Also,
you know what we could do?
Loves the Jews? Indians.
Who?
Bro. Indians.
Do they?
They love the Jews, man. They love
because we're kind of culturally we're very similar. Like overbearing moms,
cheap, overbearing. Yeah, 100%. Peaceful for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part. Overbearing, but also love to eat.
Love food. Kind of annoying. Always late for things. Like, you know.
Love money.
So many options. Yes, we do. We do indeed. But yeah, the Indians love Jews and they love Israel, which is nice.
This could be an interesting kind of like we start with a Shabbat dinner, but then we do like an Indian kosher fusion.
Yes.
It's not a bad
Indian Shabbat.
Okay, here's the deal. You find one of your Founders Fund tech sponsors, and then we co-host a little Shabbat dinner.
Okay.
And we invite half Indians and half Jews. And we figure out a way to fusion the fuck out of it.
I'm so down. I think that would be actually hilarious.
We give everyone kippas, but then also
red dots.
I wasn't going to say that. It could be anything. I don't know. I don't want to culturally appropriate.
I don't know. I think we should bring back cultural appropriation. You know, like everything's already cultural appropriation. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we're already. Yeah, dude, we're already like it's such bullshit. Like I think now that Trump is president, I could say that it's complete bullshit, cultural appropriation. Like
if you said that in the UK, you'd be in jail right now.
I know. Even before it went on YouTube, just from the streaming, they would know what I'm saying because memes are illegal there. But like, dude, somebody wearing like a Chinese costume or something in a video, right? Like, that's just being a good actor, like being in a scene. Like, you know what I'm
I'm
saying?
buying whatever you're selling, to be honest. I
All
just
right,
want to
cool.
do
Good.
I just want to do the kosher, the Jewish Indian
I'm down.
Shabbat dinner.
I'm down. Yeah. So are you in New York often or just Philly mostly?
I'm in New York often. I go in like once a week, sometimes more. Sometimes I'll be in a couple of days. Like I'm next week or the week after. I'm there for like Monday through Friday. But
Cool.
yeah, too often. I take the I don't like trains because I'm not like a homeless.
You're
Like
not
I don't.
autistic. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like. I'm not like trying to sit
Dude, you
on a
know
train that
autistic
comes at a
people just
specific.
like love trains. That's
Of
just a
course.
thing. Yeah, it's
So
awesome.
I don't do trains. So I drive into the office. I left my house yesterday at like 5. Got to the office at like 7:20, and then it's like until I get home, it's like a good 16, 18 hour day. Throw a Shabbat dinner in there. All of a sudden, it's like I'm not home till the next morning.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Well, we'll make something happen.
Yeah.
All right. I hope the podcast retention on this was decent. I don't think it was, but if they got to the end, there were some good ideas in there.
If they made it,
Indian Shabbat.
If they made it to the end, look out for the new Ozempic spin.
Yeah,
it'll be fun. Don't hate Jews. If you're an Indian, stay close to us. We have something coming.
Yeah. We got to retentionize.
Retain.
We got to retain the Indians. That's going to be Israel's #1 priority. Yeah. You got to do it. All right, cool, man. Where can people find you? Where can people read your work?
Yes, Eli Weiss. So there's always an extra S because it's just the most common Jewish name ever. So it's like Eli Eli Weiss with an extra S. So ELIWEISSS.com. Eli Weiss with an extra S on Twitter. And I probably won't see enough memes from me. So if you see me online and just demand memes.
Yeah, go bully Eli and make him post more memes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Namaste.
All right.
For my Indian people.
All right. It was good having you, bro. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye. Cheers.